Good evening, everybody. This presentation will begin by outlining the background to my proposed research, and then, in light of Karl Rahner's anthropological theology, highlight some questions that have arisen during my ministry as a Roman Catholic paediatric healthcare chaplain. A year into my ministry, a Roman Catholic chaplain recounted to me that she was being increasingly asked to conduct funeral services. This was unknown territory for her, and she felt unprepared, as the Catholic Church had not trained her for this. Then she turned to me and said, "The trouble is, Anne-Marie, we're just not used to being this side of the altar." 2 years into my ministry, I began to feel an increasing tension between the woman that I discerned God was encouraging me to become and Catholic teaching around the role and identity of women. As an undeveloped area of research and in a church in which historically the male viewpoint has defined the role and identity of women, this study will give a select group of Catholic women ministers the opportunity to define themselves and God in their own voices. And now I will turn to the questions that have arisen in my ministerial practice with reference to Karl Rahner's understanding of grace, what he called the supernatural existential, and his Christology. For Rahner, nature and grace were not separate. There was only graced nature. This transcendental experience of God is what Egan calls the basal spiritual metabolism of our lives. But what does this spiritual dynamic mean in reality? Are healthcare chaplains aware of this dynamic within their practice? How is this played out, discerned, and what have they learnt about themselves and God in the process? Rahner believed that one could not understand oneself outside of God because humanity contains what he called potentia obedientialis. This inherent capacity to receive God's grace, when consented to, enables humanity to become the full expression of Christ. In response to this gift, I wonder what this means for women who may be growing or understanding themselves in ways which may be new both to themselves and the Catholic Church. To be created for God implies that we cannot understand ourselves without both relating to and deepening our understanding of God. According to Elizabeth Johnson, this is crucial for women's developing self-understanding today. Women's new and beneficent embodied experiences of God provide an invaluable wealth of new metaphors and language which can oppose the many negative internalized devaluations of women in the Catholic Church. Connected to Rahner's idea of grace and continuing the question of identity is his understanding of the ontological reality of Christ's divine human identity, which discloses our own. According to Rahner, Christ invites us to enter the Paschal mystery, which enables us to participate in the ongoing redemption of creation. For Catholic women, this may involve dying to false and distorted notions of self and rising to more authentic life. I am intrigued to discover how the Paschal mystery has been experienced by healthcare chaplains in their ministerial practice. This raises the question of wholeness, conformity to Christ, and what it means to be his disciple. Have the women's experiences revealed what it means and feels like to become fully human in the way that Christ is calling them to be? If we relate Rahner's insights regarding the primacy of human experience as theological text to the Catholic Church's current position regarding women, I wonder whether women's experiences of faith are being actively sought as a vitalizing source of theology. For example, can church teaching regarding the role and identity of women be valid if many women perceive it to be outdated and out of sync with their experiences? Crucially, can it be valid if women have not been invited to express in their own voices who they have discerned God says they are? My research has chosen to begin this exploration of Catholic women's spirituality with Roman Catholic healthcare chaplains, for it is out of my own ministry that the aforementioned questions have emerged. What I will need to address next is how to capture the chaplain's authentic voices and hear into speech or written word their own stories. Thank you.